What? Wanna go? Whoa. What? Wanna go? What the fuck?
"1997. Something emerges from the deep that has confounded science ever since. One of the loudest and scariest sounds ever recorded. This story starts during the Cold War, when the U.S. Navy implemented a sophisticated underwater listening grid to monitor Soviet submarine activity around the world. But by 1991, the superpower standoff has ended. They contact oceanographer Christopher Fox and offer him and his team the opportunity to use the system for environmental research.
There was an effort in the United States to see if we could take military systems and use them for environmental science.
Fox and his team would utilize the Navy's network of underwater microphones, known as hydrophones, that over the years were placed around the world's oceans in their hundreds. For the first time, scientists had the means to listen in to massive areas of the deep sea. They might wish they just left it alone.
We began hearing whales. Of course, we heard shipping and man-made sounds.
But there amongst the many sounds of the ocean was something he had never heard before. A sound both mysterious and chilling.
And we heard it, and then we probably played it back several times because it was very unusual.
Fox's colleague, geologist Robert Ziak, was also puzzled by what he heard.
To me, the most impressive part about the sound is how loud it was by human standards.
How loud? What about a whopping 180 decibels, louder than a supertanker and one of the loudest sounds ever recorded? So loud, it was picked up by two hydrophones over 3,000 miles apart. Its location was determined to be 50 degrees south, 100 degrees west, just north of Antarctica. This monstrous and thoroughly weird sound was nicknamed the Bloop. So if the sound is biological, it kind of begs the question, what on earth, or underwater, produces a sound this loud? To produce a sound of this volume, the animal would have to be enormous. Blue whales are the largest creatures that has ever existed on Earth, reaching over 100 feet in length and weighing an estimated 400,000 pounds. They communicate in volumes as loud as 185 decibels. David Mellinger is a marine biologist. He has analyzed the one-time acoustic event to see if the bloop matches with any known biological sound like a blue whale.
Blue whales are extremely loud, there's no doubt about that. Something you can hear tens of, or maybe hundreds of miles away has got to be really loud. See, I could put them side by side, like, here's the blue whale sound. And this one here is the bloop sound. Blue whales are, even though they're the loudest animal we know in the ocean for a continuous sustained sound, they're nowhere near as loud as the bloop sound. We can hear the bloop sound for thousands of miles. It means the animal will have to be gargantuan if it were a biological sound.
To find out what produced the mysterious sound, scientists had to consider a seemingly impossible and ever so slightly scary prospect: that blue whales are not the largest creatures in our oceans. Could there be something else down there?
It would be something completely unknown, and it would probably have to be huge. And you'd have to say, well, how could something that huge be totally unknown on Earth?
Really is hard to say what kind of creature could it possibly be. There's no question, we don't know what's at the bottom of the ocean.
Sounds crazy, right? Actually, it's not as far-fetched as you think. In 1938, a coelacanth was caught off the coast of South Africa. They were believed to have been extinct since the end of the Cretaceous period, over 65 million years ago. And in 2006, the remains of a previously unknown prehistoric marine creature was discovered, labeled Predator X. The creature was 49 feet long and would have weighed 99,000 pounds. Yikes. So is it possible that one of these is still swimming around?
It's possible there's some creature out there that we haven't found yet. I'm skeptical of that idea. because I think we would have fished one up in a net by now.
What makes it questionable as to whether it's a biological sound was it was only recorded once.
Okay, if the bloop didn't come from a sea monster, then what else? In their search for answers, the scientists have pondered another, seemingly far-out possibility. Could, somehow, the Earth itself have made this incredible sound? So another theory emerges. Could it have been produced by something geological? After all, there's a lot of weird stuff going on out there. The outermost layer of our planet, the lithosphere, is divided into tectonic plates. Every year, massive underwater earthquakes and volcanic eruptions occur along their boundaries beneath the oceans, and guess what? They produce massive sound waves.
This is the sound of a resonating volcano, and it's all very low energy here. It's almost like a little white-yellow band there. Again, here's an example of an earthquake, and it's all low-frequency energy.
But when the sounds of an earthquake and a volcano are compared to the bloop, there's one important difference.
What's different about the bloop is that it's at a much higher frequency range, much higher pitch than these natural sounds. And typically, earthquakes are really low frequency rumbles, sound like thunder. And icebergs, they also kind of sound like thunder, but they have kind of harmonious tones. This is a different pitch, higher pitch, like an animal, sort of like what an animal would make.
Could it be a more anomalous geological sound? The bloop was recorded near Antarctica. Perhaps that could be a clue to its origins. After all, with global warming, incidents of ice splitting have been increasing in the Antarctic region.
We see really bizarre sounds coming out of Antarctica that are caused by the interaction of these giant icebergs coming off of the mainland. We see the sounds of ice cracking. We call them ice quakes. That's very distinctive too.
Icebergs breaking can be as loud as 193 decibels, as deafening as the bloop.
Icebergs can be as big as some big landmass. It can be 10 miles wide, and they can make ice quakes that are comparable in size to earthquakes. This one is the sound of an iceberg tremor. The icebergs moving along the seafloor, scraping along the seafloor, causes the iceberg to resonate and makes a harmonic sound.
But so far, none of the recordings have captured a similar sound frequency to that of the bloop. In 2000, many believe that secret Navy sonar tests were responsible when dozens of whales beached themselves in the Bahamas. It is estimated that the Navy's secret sonar transmitters can generate sound as loud as 215 decibels. Could the bloop have been this or another secret military test?
They were putting devices and instruments in the water, testing underwater explosions, doing underwater experiments of various kinds.
I don't necessarily believe in conspiracy theories. I think there's probably a reasonable explanation for all the sounds we observe in the ocean.
Despite the numerous theories, no one has proven what caused this mysterious sound.
I think it's exciting to think that there are things going on in the ocean that we don't know what they are.
What? Wanna go? Wow. What? Wanna go? What the fuck? What? Wanna go? Wow. What? Wanna go? What the fuck?
"1997. Something emerges from the deep that has confounded science ever since. One of the loudest and scariest sounds ever recorded." This story starts during the Cold War, when the U.S. Navy implemented a sophisticated underwater listening grid to monitor Soviet submarine activity around the world. But by 1991, the superpower standoff has ended. They contact oceanographer Christopher Fox and offer him and his team the opportunity to use the system for environmental research.
There was an effort in the United States to see if we could take military systems and use them for environmental science.
Fox and his